Namaste everyone. I'm Shruti Mam from Top Rankers Supergrads CAT. In the series of Reading Comprehension on philosophy, I'm here to share my approach of solving these reading comprehension passages. Um, philosophy का नाम सुनते ही पता नहीं क्यों ठीक है थोड़ा डर लगने लगता है. Students have a little aversion towards these two genres. First is philosophy and second is psychology. And I just want to break this myth. I just want to, make you understand that passage is a passage, whether it is from science and technology, whether it is from history and politics, whether it is from philosophy, you can definitely give it a try. All right. Do not carry preconceived notions about ये passage बहुत अच्छे होते हैं and ये passage बहुत खराब होते हैं. I'll just prioritize, these passages from science and technology, from fashion world, or probably from AI, but I'll not touch RCs of philosophy. ठीक है, so let's understand how to deal with philosophy. पहला तो यही है कि यार तुम डर किस चीज से रहे हो. Like philosophy comes to you as a second part of your hand because you are an Indian, all right? And in India, we have been, मतलब known as the grandfather of philosophy for the world. हम ही लोगों ने दर्शन शास्त्र दिया है दुनिया को. तो जहां दुनिया अभी बच्ची है फिलोसफी के मामले में, वेस्टर्न फिलोसफी एक्चुअली में एक छोटा बच्चा है अभी, ठीक है, उन्हें ज्यादा से ज्यादा 500-600 साल हुए हैं. वी हैव बीन in the field of philosophy for more than 5,000, 6,000 years now. All right, so we don't have to worry about philosophy. Philosophy is something which you live every day. अपनी दादी माँ के साथ में थोड़ी देर बैठोगे तो philosophy वैसे ही आ जाएगी तुम्हें, ठीक है, और आती है हमें. It's only the terms and terminologies that make you a little worry about. ठीक है, वो terms नहीं समझ में आते because they are Greek and Latin in their origin. So that's understood. But it's not that philosophy is fearful. ठीक है, that's philosophy नहीं समझ में आती. Philosophy हमें बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आती है. हम Indians हैं और हमारा जो धर्म है, चाहे वो जैनिज्म हो, बुद्धिज्म हो, हिंदुइज्म हो, इस्लाम हो, कोई सा भी धर्म हो, it deals with philosophy. Okay, so we know philosophy. So उसमें डरने की कोई बात नहीं है. ठीक है, so it's only that let's understand the approach to deal with the passages of philosophy so that हमको कुछ मार्क्स तो कम से कम फिलोसफी के आरसीज में आ ही जाए. ठीक, so let's begin. Now, my approach is that with every session, I'll be coming up with these the terms and terminologies which are generally used in RC of philosophy, so that you become comfortable with these terms. You do not get confused. All right, तो फिर और कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ेगा जब पैसेजेस सॉल्व करेंगे. ठीक है, सो बिल्कुल सिंपल लैंग्वेज में समझ लेते हैं व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दीज टर्म्स. ऑलराइट, सो द फर्स्ट वन इज स्केप्टिसिज्म, बीइंग स्केप्टिकल. ये वर्ड बहुत रिपीट होता है फिलोसफी में. व्हाई? बिकॉज फिलोसफी इज ऑल अबाउट बीइंग इंक्विजिटिव. फिलोसफी का मतलब क्या? फिलोसफी इज फिल. फिल इज लव. ऑलराइट, एंड सोफी or Sophia is wisdom. All right, so it is basically philosophy is love for wisdom. That means you want to intrigue on everything. You want to explore everything in detail. You want to dive deeper into everything. हर चीज को गहराई से समझना ही philosophy है. Whether you are from commerce background, whether you are a scientist, whether you are a teacher, whether you are, maybe a biologist or a doctor, whatever field you are into, ultimately the highest degree which you own is that of MPhil and that then PhD when you become a research scholar. So PhD का full form क्या? Doctor of Philosophy, isn't it? So philosophy is the highest degree to which you can actually get into any form of knowledge. All right, and hence skepticism is an important part of philosophy. That means whatever knowledge is available to you, whatever information is available to you, you get deeper into it. All right, that is what is philosophy, and that is what is skepticism. Absolute or certain knowledge of anything is impossible, and hence there is always room for exploration. All right, It is questioning attitude or doubt towards knowledge. It claims that everything in this universe is a mere belief or dogma. For example, atheism. एथेइज्म क्या होता है? नास्तिक. ठीक है? That we do not believe in existence of God. We always question the existence of God. All right, that is skepticism about existence of God or supernatural. So you always question the existence of things. You always question the existing knowledge, and that is exactly what is called skepticism. All right. Next term is stoicism or stoics. अब जब हम स्टोइसिज्म बोलते हैं तो हमें एकदम समझ में नहीं आता कि स्टोइसिज्म मतलब क्या, लेकिन जैसे ही मैं आपको इसका हिंदी वर्ड बताऊंगी आपको तुरंत समझ में आ जाएगा स्टोइसिज्म मतलब क्या. स्टोइसिज्म का हिंदी वर्ड है वैराग्य. अब बताइए, क्या आपको वैराग्य के बारे में नहीं पता? वैरागी कौन होता है ये नहीं पता? ऑफ कोर्स पता है. ठीक है, इट्स ओनली दैट द टर्म यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. Okay, so basically stoicism is putting aside your strong emotions, not getting indulged into strong things or power, hunger, or you know earning too much of money, getting indulged into a lot of things. That is what is stoicism all about. Living a very simple life of a hermit. ठीक है, साधु या वैरागी की तरह सिंपल लाइफ जीना और आध्यात्म में रुचि लेना. दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड स्टोइसिज्म. Stoicism encourages people to put aside passions, strong emotions in favor of a simple life. It teaches the development of self control as means of overcoming destructive emotions. Stoicism follows virtue ethics and resilience. What is resilience? Not getting affected by strong emotions. An action is good if intention behind it is good. Now I'm coming up with an example. It says that you want to support your sick friend. All right, so it's very good that you should support a friend of yours when he needs you. Your intention is to help, then it's really good. But if your intention is just to get something out of him or something you expect in return, then Stoicism says that that is not worthy or it has no value because you are bad, you are dishonest, or you have selfish action. So it's all about your intentions. With what intentions you do the thing. And ये कौन सी बहुत बड़ी चीज है? कर्म का सिद्धांत क्या है? It is the same सिद्धांत. It is the same theory that आपने जो एक्शन किया, that's not important. किस इंटेंशन से आपने कर्म किया, that is important. All right. Next two words which are very commonly used in RCs of philosophy. Epicureanism. एक एपिक्योर नाम का फिलोसोफर था, ठीक है, ग्रीक फिलोसोफर. उसी की ये थ्योरी है एंड दैट इज प्लेजर इज द ओनली वे टू लिविंग ब्लेसिडली. नाउ हियर प्लेजर इज नॉट गेटिंग इंडल्जेंट. ऑलराइट, किसी भी चीज में बहुत ज्यादा इंडल्ज हो जाना या अपने आप को बिगाड़ लेना, दैट इज नॉट एपिक्यूरियनिज्म. एपिक्यूरियनिज्म का बहुत सिंपल सा सिद्धांत है दैट whatever is giving you pleasure, happiness, for example meeting your friends, hanging out with them, having good talk with your family, enjoying a movie, so that's what, focus on simplicity of life. So it is somewhere related to stoicism. It's only in the difference of कि stoics थोड़ा सा अपने emotions को control करके रखने की बात करते हैं और epicureanism जो है वो simple joys को enjoy करने की बात करता है. That you should have a pursuit of happiness but with prudence. अपने विवेक के साथ में, अपने विजडम के साथ में अपनी लाइफ को एंजॉय करो. डू नॉट ओवर इंडल्ज इनटू थिंग्स बट हैव a very simple, easy to go and happy life. You should not restrict yourself with for from getting into anything. You should explore the world. You should live world the way you want. Whatever gives you happiness, you should do that. ठीक है. इसका एक्सट्रीम फॉर्म है हेडोनिज्म. हेडोनिज्म का मतलब ये है, बॉस, eat, drink and be merry. All right, leave aside what is spirituality, leave aside doing something for humanity or for nature or anything. I should be, involved and indulge into all kinds of physical pressures. It gives focus on animal instincts, the way animals live. They want to have food, they want to have sex, they want to have babies, and they want to live a very comfortable, long life. They want to avoid any kind of struggle. Okay, so that is the animal instinct with which hedonism moves. It says bodily pleasures are ultimate purpose of life. But this ends up in these two things. That is, the person becomes a glutton, हवस बहुत ज्यादा हो जाती है. The person becomes addicted towards the pleasures. For example, the person would become dipsomaniac if he's indulged into alcohol. All right, so that results into pain and suffering towards the end. So this is obviously an extreme form of Epicureanism. ऑलराइट, तो सिंपल सिंपल टर्म्स है. आज हमने ये चार टर्म्स समझे. अगले सेशन में और वर्ड्स को लेकर आऊंगी और टर्म्स समझा दूंगी. दे आर वेरी इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड. इट्स ओनली दैट वो टर्म्स हमारे पहुंच से दूर है, इसलिए हमें समझ में नहीं आती. और डिफिकल्ट इसलिए क्योंकि डेफिनेशंस उनकी जो दी हुई है वो काफी कंफ्यूजिंग है. ठीक है, सो सिंपल वर्ड्स में समझ लेंगे, इट विल बी इजी टू गो. नाउ लेट्स सॉल्व कैट 2022 आरसी ऑन फिलोसफी. मैं एक्चुअल कैट का आरसी इसलिए आपके साथ सॉल्व करना चाह रही हूँ ताकि मैं प्रूव कर सकूं कि इतना बुरा भी नहीं है. आउट ऑफ 4 क्वेश्चंस अगर 3 क्वेश्चंस आप सॉल्व कर पा रहे हो, 2 क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर पा रहे हो, इट इज वर्थ इन्वेस्टिंग टाइम. ठीक है, इतना बुरा नहीं है. दैट्स व्हाट आई वांट टू प्रूव एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई वांट यू टू बिलीव दैट. ठीक है यार, एक बार ट्राई तो करके देखें. दैट्स द पर्पस. ठीक. So the passage, obviously, before we start with the passage, the approach is first go through the questions. All right. So this is the question. Through meditation and right attitude, one allows emotions to happen to oneself. It is impossible to prevent this, but one is advised to observe the emotions without necessarily acting on them. One achieves some distance and decides what has value and what does not have value. In the context of the passage, which one of the following is not a possible implication of the quoted statement? मतलब जहां पर भी ये स्टेटमेंट है थ्रू मेडिटेशन एंड राइट एटीट्यूड, ये जहां स्टेटमेंट होगा मुझे अपनी स्पीड स्लो रखनी है और ध्यान से पढ़ना है कि ये क्या बोल रहा है. Question number 2, which one of the following statements would be an accurate inference from the example of Marcus Aurelius? All right. On the basis of the passage, which one of the following statements can be regarded as true? Which one of the following statements, if false, could be seen as contradicting the facts and arguments of the passage? अब अगर हम इन 3 क्वेश्चंस को देखें, ये इन्फरेंशियल क्वेश्चंस नहीं है. ठीक है, these are questions which can be directly understood from the passage and could be solved easily. Now let's see the passage. This is the passage on your screen. I'm giving you time. You can pause, you hit the pause button, and then you can read it properly. I'm reading along with you. Stoicism was founded in 300 BC by Greek philosopher Zeno and survived into the Roman era until about AD 300. According to the Stoics, emotions consist of 2 movements. The first movement is the immediate feeling, and the other reactions, that is physiological response that occur when a stimulus or event occurs. For instance, consider what could have happened if an army general accused Marcus Aurelius of treason in front of other officers. The first movement for Marcus may have been internal, that is surprise and anger in response to this insult, accompanied perhaps by some involuntary physiological and expressive responses such as face flushing and a movement of eyebrows. The second movement is what one does next about the emotion. I'm sorry. Second movement behaviors occur after thinking and are under one's control. Examples of second movement for Marcus might have These are all examples. Might have included a plot to seek revenge, action signifying deference and appeasement, or perhaps proceedings as he would have proceeded whether or not this event occurred, continuing to lead the Romans in a way that Marcus Aurelius believed best benefited them. In the Stoic view, choosing a reasoned, unemotional response as the second movement is the only appropriate response. So, the entire paragraph, this is just a paragraph, all right? So, it is talking about Stoicism, when it was founded, and by whom it was founded. What is the meaning of Stoicism has been illustrated by the example of Marcus Aurelius, that if someone insults him, he has two movements to respond. The first one, obviously, is what he feels internally, and the second is that how he behaves. And that's what is being illustrated. Now, the definition comes here. In the Stoic view, choosing a reasoned, unemotional response as the second movement is the only appropriate response, and this is what is called Stoicism. तो Stoicism की definition और एक simple example दिया हुआ है. तो अगर तुम्हें नहीं भी पता होता कि Stoicism क्या है, passage में उसका explanation दिया हुआ है. ठीक है? Okay, so you can read along with me, or you can pause the screen and read first and then read along with me. The Stoics believe that to live the good life and be a good person, we need to free ourselves of nearly all desires, such as too much desire for money, power, or sexual gratification. Prior to second movements, we can consider what is important in life. Money, power, and excessive sexual gratification are not important. They are not important according to Stoics. Character, rationality, and kindness are important. The Epicureans, now यहाँ पर देखो Epicureanism दूसरी philosophy आ गई. Epicureans, first associated with the Greek philosopher Epicurus, held a similar view, believing that people should enjoy simple pleasures such as good conversation, friendship, food, wine, but not be indulgent in these pursuits and not follow a passion for those things that hold no real value, like power and money. That means even Epicurean, they believe that there is no real value in power and money, just similar to what Stoics believed. As Oatley 2004 states, the Epicureans articulated a view enjoyment of relationship with friends of things that are real rather than illusory, simple rather than artificially inflated, possible rather than vanishingly unlikely. That is certainly relevant today. In sum, these ancient Greek and Roman philosophers saw emotions, especially strong ones, as potentially dangerous. So here you have the crux of the two philosophies. They viewed emotions as experiences that needed to be reined and controlled. All right, so this is the crux of these two philosophies. Coming to the next paragraph. As Oatley 2004 points out, the Stoic idea bears some similarity to Buddhism. Buddha, living in India in 6th century BC, argued for cultivating a certain attitude and that decreases the probability of destructive second movements in Stoic terms. Through meditation and the right attitude, one allows emotions to happen to oneself. Now, we have read that the first question is on this, and hence we should understand what this means. Through meditation and the right attitude, one allows emotions to happen to oneself. It is impossible to prevent this, but One is advised to observe the emotions without necessarily acting on them. One achieves some distance and decides what has value and what does not have value. So you have to distance and then decide. Distance yourself from emotions. All right. Additionally, the Stoic idea of developing virtue in oneself, of becoming a good person, which the Stoics believe that could do because we have a touch of divine, laid the foundation of the three monotheistic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. As with Stoicism, tenets of these religions include controlling our emotions lest we engage in sinful behavior. So you can see that all this philosophy is actually encapsulated in the prominent religions which we follow. And there's nothing very extraordinary about these philosophical ideas. All these religions are basically an outcome of Stoicism, wherein they follow very strictly controlling emotions. Otherwise, they get into sinful behavior. If strong emotions are not brought under control, it results into indulgence and results into sin or crime. All right. Now, you must have seen that while I was reading in chunks. All right. I was not reading in the entire sentence formation. Sentences are long and they have a lot of information stuffed into one. All right. And hence, when you read in a flow, then you don't understand very clearly. But when you read in chunks, you understand very clearly that, okay, these are the important things which have been stated in this sentence or in this paragraph. Every paragraph will have 2 to 3 important points, and that is something which you should focus on so that you understand the entire passage very quickly. All right, let's move quickly to the questions. Now, even in CAT, you should be, you should have that acumen, you should have that understanding which questions to attempt first and which questions you should stay for or hold on for later. All right, as I see fit, the third question is the easiest one because it is the direct question. It says, on the basis of the passage, which one of the following statements can be regarded as true? So I have to just browse through the options. Because I've read the passage, I'll be quickly able to eliminate the wrong options. The Epicureans believe in controlling all emotions. There were no Stoics in India at the time of Roman civilization. Stoic influences can be seen in multiple religions, and Stoic valorize the pursuit of money, power, and sexual gratification. Valorize means they have given a lot of emphasis on. So ये तो एक झूठ हो गया. This is opposite of what the passage is saying. Similarly, there were no Stoics in India at the time of Romans, so nothing has been stated about it. Epicureans believe in controlling all emotions. Again, this is wrong. The Stoic influences can be seen in multiple religions. This is something which we have read in the last, see here, in the last part of the passage, that Stoicism had actually developed the virtue and it has resulted into monotheistic religions. It has laid the foundation for monotheistic religions like Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So, hence, we have the correct answer, which is C. Quite easy to solve. Second question. Which of the following statements would be an accurate inference from the example of Marcus Aurelius? So this is the Marcus Aurelius example. If you want, you can read it again and then you can solve this question. Very quickly, It was basically an example which was given to illustrate what is Stoicism. All right. So let's see. Marcus Aurelius was humiliated by accusation of treason in front of other officers. Was that done? No. It is basically the author's assumption. It is his instance. For instance, consider what could have happened. तो ये एक ऑथर का इमेजिनेशन है. एक्चुअल में ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं था. So Marcus Aurelius was humiliated? No, he was not actually humiliated. It was author's assumption. Marcus Aurelius was one of the leaders of the Roman army. Now you can see for yourself. It says, here it is. Example of second movement for Marcus might have included a plot to seek revenge, action signifying deference and appeasement, or perhaps proceeding as would have proceeded whether or not this event occurred. Continuing to lead the Roman in the way that Marcus Aurelius believed best benefited them. Now, by reading this part of the sentence, it is very clear that Marcus Aurelius was one of the leaders of the Roman army. Marcus Aurelius was a Stoic whose philosophy survived into Roman era. Nothing about he being a philosopher has been stated. Marcus Aurelius plotted a revenge in his quest for justice. Again, as I told you, that he did not do it. It is basically the assumption of the author. He is trying to imagine a situation in which he would act like this. All right, so that's not something which has happened. It is just an example. Again, he did not plot a revenge. This is also wrong. So we have three options which can be eliminated, and obviously, so the right answer comes out automatically. Now you have seen that even in a passage of philosophy which you were, dreaded and you were not interested in even getting into, you can actually have two answers correct in no time. Very direct questions, answer is in your hand. Now coming to the very first question. Through meditation and right attitude, one allows emotions to happen to oneself. It is impossible to prevent this. But one is advised to observe the emotions without necessarily acting on them. One achieves some distance and decides what has value and what does not have value. In the context of the passage, which one of the following is not a possible implication of the quoted statement? Meditation allows certain out-of-body experiences. Okay. So first of all, we have to see which is not possible. That means something which does not relate to the statement. All right. Now there are certain questions in CAT or RC passages. अगर question ध्यान से पढ़ लो ना, तो आंसर तुम्हारे हाथ में है. It is only that you should read the question properly. Now the question says, through meditation and right attitude, one allows emotions to happen to oneself. All right, that means you're allowing something to happen to yourself, your own body. And this says meditation allows certain out of body experiences. So out of body experiences की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे? नहीं, you're allowing your emotions to happen to you. All right, that permit us to gain distance necessary to control our emotions. So this is something which is not in context. Emotional responses can make it difficult to distinguish valuable experiences from valueless experiences. ये साफ साफ यहाँ से infer हो रहा है. What has value and what has not. So this is in sync with the sentence. Observation of emotions in a distanced manner corresponds to second movement referred to earlier in the passage. So this is again very correct, this observation. Meditation and right attitude in this instance implies an initially passive reception of all experiences. So passive experience क्यों? Because you're allowing things to happen to you. You are not doing anything. You are not reacting. You're just allowing things to happen. That is what is called being passive. All right. So this is again true. And you have to identify which is not possible. So the obvious answer comes out as A. तो मैंने क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से पढ़ लिया तो आंसर मेरे हाथ में है. ठीक है, इट्स नॉट दैट डिफिकल्ट. ओके, नाउ कमिंग टू द फोर्थ क्वेश्चन. इसको लास्ट में इसलिए कर रही हूँ क्योंकि ये समझाना चाह रही हूँ कि क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से समझना बहुत जरूरी है. There are certain questions which are very confusing and that creates a lot of confusion. और उसमें philosophy और psychology का कोई रोल नहीं है. This kind of question or this variety of question can happen in any genre of arts. ये कैट का favorite question variety है by the way. ठीक है. Which one of the following statements, if false, could be seen as contradicting the facts and arguments in the passage? अब देखो यहाँ पे डबल नेगेटिव्स हैं. Statement if false will contradict the passage. तो यहाँ डबल नेगेटिव्स हैं. इसको कैसे करेंगे? इसको सॉल्व करने का मेरा अप्रोच यह है कि मैं डबल नेगेटिव्स को कैंसिल कर देती हूँ. ठीक है, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि आउट ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट अगर कोई ट्रू है तो वो कॉन्ट्रडिक्टिंग नहीं है, मतलब दैट इज इन सिंक विद द पैसेज, इट इज इन अग्रीमेंट विद द पैसेज. मतलब मुझे हर एक ऑप्शन को फॉल्स करके देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. जैसा ऑप्शन लिखा है बस मुझे इसको इवैल्यूएट करना है कि ये पैसेज से कितना अग्री कर रहा है. दैट्स इट, दैट्स इट. ठीक है, सो इसको सिंप्लीफाई कर लो. फॉल्स की जगह यहां पर कर लो इफ ट्रू कुड बी सीन एज स्ट्रेंथनिंग. ठीक है, और इन अग्रीमेंट विद द ऑथर. इन द एपिक्यूरियन व्यू indulging in simple pleasures is not desirable. So at the first go, it seems to be, opposite. It is not desirable. I am not sure about this. So अभी तो नहीं लग रहा. Despite practicing meditation and cultivating the right attitude, emotions can not ever be controlled. तो ये तो stoicism के against ही जा रहा है. ठीक है, so obviously this does not strengthen, it is going opposite to the author. In the Stoic view, choosing a reasoned, unemotional response as the first movement is appropriate response to emotional situation. तो Stoic view का अगर तुम्हें याद है तो हमने पढ़ा है कि Stoic view कहता है कि unemotional और rational, reason, well reasoned हमारा रिस्पॉन्स होना चाहिए. लेकिन दैट इज द सेकेंड मूवमेंट. फर्स्ट मूवमेंट तो ऑब्वियसली आप इंटरनल क्या फील कर रहे हो उसके ऊपर है. सो दिस इज गोइंग अगेंस्ट द ऑथर. ये जहां तक सही है लेकिन इट्स नॉट द फर्स्ट, इट इज द सेकेंड मूवमेंट. ठीक है, तो ये इट इज गोइंग अगेंस्ट द ऑथर. द ग्रीक फिलोसोफर जेनो सर्वाइव्ड इनटू रोमन एरा until about 300 AD. तो इससे बड़ा तो कोई झूठ ही नहीं हो सकता. फिलोसोफर ग्रीस का है, रोमन एरा तक चल रहा है, फ्रॉम 300 BC टू 300 AD. मैं आपको बताती हूँ कहाँ है. तो बेसिकली Stoicism was founded in 300 BC by Greek philosopher Zeno and survived into Roman era until about 300 AD. So this is about Stoicism and not about Zeno. Zeno इतना survive कैसे कर पाएगा? इतने साल कैसे जिंदा रहेगा? It's about Stoicism survived. ठीक है, सो दिस इज अगेन फैक्चुअली रॉन्ग. ठीक है, अब तीन तो बिल्कुल ही गलत हो गए. अब ये वाला भी लग तो गलत ही रहा है. इन द एपिक्यूरियन व्यू इंडल्जिंग इन सिंपल प्लेजर्स इज नॉट डिजायरेबल. ठीक है, बट अगर हम ध्यान से देखें तो यहां पर कौन सा वर्ड यूज किया हुआ है उन्होंने? इंडल्जिंग. तो स्टोइसिज्म ने बिल्कुल क्लियरली बोला है दैट यू शुड एंजॉय सिंपल प्लेजर्स ऑफ लाइफ बट यू शुड अवॉइड इंडल्जिंग. And hence, this is the answer because this is not desirable according to Epicurean, and that is in agreement. This agrees with author. तो सबसे पहली चीज हमने की, इफ फॉल्स कुड बी कॉन्ट्रोडिक्टिंग, को सिंप्लीफाई कर लिया. इट इज इफ ट्रू विल स्ट्रेंथन द ऑथर और विल अग्री विद द पैसेज. ठीक है. उसके बाद फिर एक एक करके सारे ऑप्शंस को हमने एलिमिनेट किया और जो राइट आंसर है उसको एक बार फिर से कंफर्म किया कि एक्चुअल में कहां पर प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, क्योंकि दिखने में पहली बार तो वो यही लग रहा था कि हाँ ये तो सही बोल रहा है, क्योंकि वो ये कह रहे हैं कि ये तो झूठ बोल रहा है कि मतलब ये पैसेज के साथ में अग्री नहीं करा, क्योंकि एपिक्यूरियंस तो बोलते हैं वी शुड एंजॉय आवर लाइफ. ठीक है. एंड यहाँ पर वो कह रहा है इट इज नॉट डिजायरेबल, बट एपिक्यूरियन ये कह रहा है इट इज नॉट डिजायरेबल टू गेट इंडल्ज इनटू दी थिंग्स, यू शुड ओनली एंजॉय देम. मतलब कंपनी ऑफ योर फ्रेंड्स, enjoying food and wine, exploring new places. These are simple things which give you happiness. You should go ahead with them. You should have pleasure of them, but you should not get indulged into it. Indulgement और enjoyment में क्या difference है? Indulgence basically is जिसमें हमने thought नहीं दिया हुआ है. ठीक है. जैसे gossip करना, शराब पीना, इसमें हम इंडल्ज होते हैं, या अननेसेसरी टाइम वेस्ट करना सोशल मीडिया पे. यू नो दैट यू हैव बेटर थिंग्स टू डू इन लाइफ, बट देन ऑल्सो यू यील्ड टू इट. आप गिव अप कर देते हो, अरे यार थोड़ा टाइम दे देते हैं, अरे थोड़ा टाइम दे देते हैं. दैट इज इंडल्जेंस. ठीक है. किसी व्यसन में लगना, दैट इज एडिक्शन, दैट इज इंडल्जेंस. वो एपिक्यूरियन जो है वो उसको अवॉइड करने का बोल रहा है. वो कह रहा है लाइफ सिंपल जियो, जो अच्छा लगे वो खाओ पियो, अच्छे से रहो, फ्रेंड्स के साथ घूमो, लेकिन इंडल्जेंस को अवॉइड करो. और आपका स्टेटमेंट भी यही बोल रहा है. So the right answer is A. Let's do a quick revision about the words. What is Epicureanism? Epicureanism मतलब क्या? आ रहा है कुछ दिमाग में? अभी मैंने बताया. You should pursue happiness. You should live a very simple life, but you should not get indulged into things or bodily pleasures. What is Stoicism? And are these two different? No, they are not very different. The only difference is Stoicism भी यही बोलता है that you should live a simple life. All right? But it also says that you should have resilience towards strong emotions. You should not get into valueless pursuits. Power hungry नहीं होना है, बहुत ज्यादा पैसे के पीछे नहीं जाना है. You should live a simple life and you should have resilience towards strong emotions. You should control your strong emotions. That's the only difference between Epicureanism and Stoicism. Rationality. What is rationality? What is to think rationally? Practical thinking. Okay, reasoning out properly. You should be able to make a right decision if you are thinking on a practical ground. ठीक है. Logically सोचने को बोलते हैं rationality. Indulgence. How is it different from enjoyment? ये वर्ड्स बहुत कॉमनली यूज होते हैं. इंडल्जेंस का मतलब होता है गेटिंग एडिक्टेड टू समथिंग, yielding टू समथिंग, गिव अप कर देना कि अरे यार ये तो मेरी लत बन चुका है, मुझे तो करना ही पड़ेगा. दैट इज समथिंग विच द स्टोइक्स एज वेल एज द एपिक्यूरियंस अवॉइड. ये इंडल्जेंस में कौन फंसते हैं? हेडोनिस्ट. हेडोनिज्म मैंने बताया था तुम्हें शुरू में. हेडोनिज्म मतलब इंडल्जेंस. ठीक है. गेटिंग टू एनिमल इंस्टिंक्ट. ऑलराइट, एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज indulgence. So that's all from today's class. I hope I made some sense to you, and now on you will not fear the RCs of philosophy. At least give them a try. If not all 4 questions, at least you'll be able to do 2 questions, and that is worth investing time in CAT. So do not have aversion towards philosophy and psychology. We are there to help you in top rankers, supergrads, CAT. So do come in and join and subscribe to this channel so that we could come up with such interesting things for you. Have a great day and take good care of yourself. Namaste.